As is tradition, the latest class of University of Lethbridge graduates are making their way up the hill and towards their futures post-secondary. There's a lot of decisions they need to make, but one of those is whether or not that future will include Lethbridge.
Yeah, absolutely. For at least a year. I am working here for the summer, and then after my gap year, I am pursuing graduate level education here at the university.
I'll be getting out.
Fewer people in southwestern Alberta pursue post-secondary education compared to the provincial average. And in places like Lethbridge, that makes keeping graduates in the area a priority.
So the more graduates we can keep in our region, the more skilled workers we're going to have. So that is important for the economy, but it's also important socially as well. We want to make sure that we have a young, vibrant population here, starting families and making Lethbridge their home.
The city, county, and regional and economic partners collaborated on a study to hear from students themselves what would keep them in the region.
And so we had about 2,200 students complete the survey, which was fantastic. And they provide a lot of detail, which provide a lot of flavor as to what students really want and need in the community.
The top reason students identified for not wanting to stay: feeling like they wouldn't get a good job after graduating.
Lethbridge tends to be the type of town where you get a job through the people that you know, which you can imagine is challenging for a student who's coming from outside the region.
I feel like there's already a lack of entry-level jobs.
I was able to obtain a job right after obtaining my bachelor's degree.
And there's so many opportunities for volunteering here, and I think that's one of the things that you kind of just work your way up through. Not necessarily availability of jobs, but like how you get the jobs through other people that give you the experience here.
The study that we conducted, we found that many students, even students who weren't overly enthusiastic to stay here in Lethbridge, would stay if they had an opportunity to gain employment with their work integrated learning placement. Work integrated learning is things like co-op programs, practicums, and so on.
I think one of the most important parts of this is to make sure that those jobs are readily available, and that if they're available, the students know. Having the businesses really take the time to head over to these post-secondary institutions.
Community safety is another reason students cited for not staying. In 2022, Lethbridge was ranked third on Statistics Canada's Crime Severity Index.
There are some students who definitely feel a certain sense of unease, particularly downtown in Lethbridge. And a lot of students had a lot of concern for social challenges like poverty, homelessness, drug addiction, and so on. A lot of the students had some very compassionate comments around how the community really needs to do more to address some of the root causes of some of these social challenges.
I've worked in the field of addictions for 2 years. Yeah, it's a bigger problem than just drugs. And it requires a certain level of understanding and empathy in order to tackle the root of that problem.
Lack of public transit was also a contributing factor.
Students really need to have public transit after hours, and they need it on the weekends, which our transit system here is not really set up for that type of user.
Some are leaving because they feel there just isn't enough to do in town.
I think if the city was overall more populated and we had more things to do, maybe that would have kept me here. Maybe just somewhere to go out with the boys, have places where people can socialize. I noticed there wasn't a single restaurant that was open past 12 a.m. So we need more of that as well. Just because, we want to go out, play billiards, whatever, bowl.
Not much to do here is wrong. I love doing all the stuff here. There's hockey games, there's basketball here all the time, there's a lot of friends.
The Rocky Mountains we have here are some of the most beautiful in the world. We've got beautiful coulee and park system and so on. And students did rate that on our survey very high as far as the importance to them when they're thinking about where they want to live, but also as far as the desirability of Lethbridge.
It hasn't been all bad, even for those who are leaving.
Lethbridge has been absolutely amazing. A lot of times you see people making jokes about it online, but I honestly highly recommend the university. It's a pretty good place. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah.
City Council will meet with representatives from local post-secondary institutions at a future committee meeting to see how it can help bring and keep students in the community.
Emily Marie Hardley.
Oseirete, CBC News, Lethbridge.